What is up, everybody? My name is Dane Thompson, and welcome back to another episode of BurnDown. So, we are back once again in this episode, messing with the Twinniebago. I've got a little bit of progress that I made while you guys were not on camera because I didn't really film last weekend. So what I can do is I can catch up on some of that stuff. And then actually I sat yesterday after hours in the Twinniebago and started writing a list of things to do, and I was getting a little more detailed. Usually you write the list, you're like, oh, I just need to plumb this and then do that. So I sat there, was trying to think of all the stuff we need because I want to get this thing fired up here as soon as I can. Well, the list started with one little side of the page, and then I had to flip it over, and we got to the other side of the page, and it was kind of like that. I realized things were falling apart, and I was gonna quit writing because it was getting dreary. The more stuff I had to write down, I'm like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. Oh man. So I realized the long list, but let me show you. We got a few goodies this morning. We'll take a look at what we got on the Twinniebago, and then we'll decide what we're gonna start with today because, like I said, I've got a two-sided list. So here's my list. So it's one side, and then it was the full back side, and then I just quit writing because I was like, well, we're not getting through a double-sided list in like one day. But here's some of the items off of the list that I got. So we needed hardware to actually mount the turbos up. The turbo, I thought it was American, but it's metric, and then I didn't have the right length, so I got two different length metric bolts for the hardware. So we'll get the exhaust all mounted, turbos mounted up and done today, so that'll be off the list. I've got some dash 4 aluminum line. This is 30 feet of this stuff, $15. So in, I think the last episode I was talking about aluminum line and how much I love using this stuff. Here's an example, right? This, $15. This, I want to say it's like 15 inches, little soft jumper line that I need to run, $10, which is actually pretty cheap for a line that you have guys make for you, but still, $10, $15, 15 inches, 30 feet. There you go. Although, I guess if we start adding fittings up, which I have a whole bag here, things kind of get out of hand. But essentially what we got here, this is to plumb the oil feed line. This is to jump it off the motor to the frame. Because the turbos are mounted on the frame, I can run hard line. So I'm going to hard line as much stuff as I can. And then if you were guessing that this is the jumper for the oil return, you were correct. It has to go past the exhaust. This is lava wrap. You can pretty much just lay this on the header if you want and run whatever you want through it, and it keeps things cool. So this is more than I need, but better safe than sorry. That way I've got enough crap to get things done. And then we got a plethora of stuff. So this is my return line size. That's why this Jones is big. And then we just got a bunch of different size fittings, dash 6, dash 4, all the good stuff to plumb all this stuff. So it is basically a bunch of plumbing supplies for the most part, minus a little bit of hardware. So let's go take a look at where we left off on the Twinniebago. We cut the wastegates in, and I cut the O2 sensor in. So now it's time to make some decisions on what we're gonna start with. But I'm hoping to get majority of the stuff kind of on the front end of this thing. And then obviously we got some stuff to do some plumbing. So check this out. Oh, I set the bumper in place too. It's not bolted down, but it'll give you an idea of what this thing looks like. Woo-wee! There she is, boys. So we've got dual wastegates that are way too big. So hopefully they keep pressure in the system. These are 50 millimeter because he was out of the 44s. Granted, these are tiny turbos. They don't really need that. And then I didn't know if I could run both turbos off of one, but we'll just run this. I've got a light spring in here, so hopefully it'll work. But we're only trying to make, 10, 14 pounds anyways. Got the O2 boy right there. So the accessories should hopefully come out, and then this can kind of do one of those guys back around, hopefully, or between the water pump. However, we got to route this guy, but that's where I chose to put it. Got that all plumbed in. It goes back down to its home. None of this stuff is tight though because I didn't have the hardware. So this was the hardware I was talking about on this guy, and then this guy only had a couple little ones to throw in there. And then if you notice, we've got our cutout, bam, all plumbed in. Got the V-band. Again, this is all kind of loose. We'll get this all tightened down. but that's the way the bullhorn actually sets on the rig. So other than that, we've got, I hardlined the fuel. Yes, this jumps from the motor to the coach, so I put a little zigzag curly Q deal in there because I didn't have a soft line and this was all laying around, so that's free. So that should, just like your brake lines, you put the curly Q, life's good, right? This top touches on the cap. You can see that the cap is up past, so we'll have to cut and raise that up. So we got a number of things to do. Then obviously we're missing the radiator and accessories. So that in a nutshell is kind of where we're at and what we're up against. I will go refer to my 2-page list. Oh, this is exciting too, before I get too carried away. Bam, baby. Oh, go. Oh yeah, reverse is a little off. The neutral one, whoops, drive, and then this would be like the passing gear. So drive, neutral, reverse, park. So we got the shifter working with the transmission. So that was exciting. And obviously we gotta, I'd like to get possibly a longer cable, but for now, if we can just make do with that, we will, if it'll work out. Okay, that was the last exciting thing. So, stuff is getting fun, but let's go consult the double-sided list of shame. All right, I made it about 3 steps out of the camper without consulting the list. I think the best bet to start off today is to get the radiator in. So typically, I think the radiator went in before these guys went down, but because I did the wastegates, that's why this is all mounted up. So before we get all froggy, tighten any of this stuff down, I think best bet is we take the throttle body off, try and sneak the radiator in from the top. As long as we can land that Jones in there, then we're good to go on the rest of the stuff. But if not, at least these aren't all tightened up and I'm not untightening stuff and taking it out if we don't have to, but I think there's enough room up top. So let's try to sneak the radiator down. If we can get that kind of in there and at least loosely put in, then I feel good about tightening up the exhaust, and then we can move on from there. So let's go do that. That'll be fun. At least that'll give me some progress. Then I'll feel a little bit better about the depression I'm in because I can't go race. And supposedly they're saying like July or something, or August. Oh, it's getting terrible.
This is CNN Breaking News.
You can kick their balls, but you can't touch them. To avoid confusion between whose balls are whose, you can use a marker, like a Sharpie, put an X or put someone's initials on them. Kick their balls, touch them. Touch their balls.
Here's our dusty radiator that I bought new, and we fit in there, and then it's just been hiding behind that hood for a while. So it's got the fan shrouds, all the boys are already on it, so this thing is good to go. And it's funny because it had a little bit of funk on it, on the, you know, finish, I guess, but we don't really care. So I just want to get it done. Yeah, so see, there's the funk. But anyway, what I'm gonna do is blow the dust off, and then I want to get this tape to actually stick because this thing like fell off. So that way we don't smash these cores on anything. So let me tape this thing up. I'll bring you guys over to the Winnebago when we're trying to stuff this in. I think I'm gonna pull that throttle body off real quick. Yeah, then this will protect that side. So I'm good this way. I just want to throw this cardboard back over it just so we don't wreck anything. All right, so here is the cross member I made that holds up the radiator. And we made these little guys, if you watch that video far back enough. And then actually underneath this, I have some rubber. It's like a 1/16 inch thick just to isolate it. So I think what I'm gonna do is, got some silicone over there, I'm gonna cut some pads in here that will just line this whole thing, put a little silicone so that when we put the radiator in, those things don't vibrate or move out, they just hopefully live there. And then I have to see if it touches here. I think it just goes in there and comes up, but anywhere it touches I need to have rubber isolating it so we don't wear a hole in the thing, hopefully. So then make some little U-brackets for the rubber. We'll kind of put this in there, we'll put the U-brackets in, and then we'll try to slide the radiator down. I'm hoping, I got the throttle body off, so I'm hoping we can just sneak it down here and then land it. And then we can stand it up and do whatever we gotta do, and then I'm hoping I can bolt accessories on, hopefully, with the radiator in place. So, all right, radiator, go radiator, mount. Funny part is we blasted giant holes with the Zenny-Cut in this thing, so I doubled up the washer thickness. Granted, majority of the load, you know, is going to be pushing down on it, but that way I can at least get a pretty tight torque on the thing without bending the washer and then having my radiator fall off the front of this thing. Especially when we're going fast, right? When all the air is hitting the turbos and it's hitting the radiator and trying to push it backwards into the cab. Then we hit warp speed. Get it up to 88 miles an hour, like Back to the Future. Okay. So we'll leave that loose. So we got this dude in place, and then I'm gonna line these little pockets with some rubber on both of these. You know, yeah, we'll just do that. And then I hope it doesn't hit that. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like the ends, see how they come up? So I don't think those touch, but we'll triple check. Hey, look, they're different angles too. That's kind of goofy. Anyway. I don't think this thing really likes me that much anymore. I'm trying to get this radiator in, it's fighting it, and this side just wouldn't go down. I was like, it's just weird. So I got to pry bar all kinds of shit out, got that thing, got it to where it worked, and I'm kind of moving around like, oh, it feels pretty solid looking at it. Well, the little rubber doohickey I made folded up on the back side. So literally this piece is folded over and it's underneath. That's why it wouldn't come down and this wouldn't line up. So now there's no protection against this metal piece in the backside of the radiator. So you know what that means? We get some practice. I gotta pull it out and then put it back in. You know, I didn't like the way it went down the first time. What I really would like to do is, I just want a do-over. You know, it's hot. Let's just do that again because it was so much fun. All right, take two. It is in. I feel good about it. You can see the little rubber pieces pretty well centered, and nothing is touching. It's pretty thin, but it's a pretty stout piece of rubber. And this thing's pretty sturdy. I'm hoping with the other line on the front and or top and bottom, it'll give it even more rigidity. It's what we're hoping for. And then that should be good. So I'm feeling pretty decent about this. So we will move on. We are back. It's a bit later in the day. And who would have thought that tightening like 8 bolts is that difficult? Well, there's a little more than 8, but I tightened all the exhaust up. We put the hardware in for the turbos, so that is done. The gaskets are in, wastegates. Everything you see here is all tight. To there, down to the exhaust cutout. The exhaust goes to the back. We are good. This dude is in place, so that is good. Now we have some thinking to do, and I'm thinking that we put the accessories in. So I think I can come from up here and slide everything in from up this direction, hopefully is the plan. So I'd like to do that, even though the more stuff in here clutters it more. It makes life more difficult, but I want to plumb this, but I want to make sure that everything that's going to be in the way is in the way. So if you're wondering what those Pac-Man bites are for, that is the power steering pump reservoir. So he got it wrong on one of the shots, and then that's the other Pac-Man bite that you see on the frame. So let me do that. Let me get the accessories, hang from here, bolt them in, which will probably be a pain in my ass. And once those are in, we'll feel better about that, and I can plumb around said things. So namely, the oil feed is on this side for the turbos, and then the oil drain is on this side, and the drain has to go around the radiator. It has to not cook on the exhaust. That's what the lava wrap is for. And then the feed is a lot smaller. The exhaust isn't an issue, but it's got to cruise all the way around the radiator. This one's actually easy because it's pressure. That one's gravity fed, so that's really the kicker on that. So Let's throw accessories in and keep rolling. Last but certainly not least is the water pump. Alright, so here are these bad boys. The water pump pulley. My buddy Jeff actually had this. A lot of you guys, I don't know if you know or not, but on, it's probably gonna fight me coming off, but on a truck water pump, typically this fill housing, well, as you can see, it doesn't have anything, but on a normal one, the thermostat is part of the housing, and it's a big pain in the ass. So this one will allow me just to run like a 180, 170 thermostat. I might even run this cold, I think. I want a lot of flow going, and I want it open. I don't want the temperature to get up, so that way it has the best chance to cool itself off. So we'll get probably like a 160, 170, whatever they sell. You know, 180 is kind of typical stuff. That's what's in the Malibu, I think. And then this is actually a Trailblazer setup. I think this pump is actually a little different. And I've already got a fitting. I got this from G&J, so this is pressure side return. So that's actually pretty simple if I just took that straight into the Hydro Boost, but I'm gonna try to incorporate the steering box. But I wanna get it in so we know the fitment. And then I found all my little hardware for that. And then this guy should have, yeah, we got gaskets on there. I'll wipe it down. We'll wipe her down a little bit, throw that on, and then throw this guy on, and we should be good. Okay. So I've elected to go with the power steering pump first. I'm going to take the alternator off so it's a little lighter, and then we'll just shimmy over there. Hopefully we don't fall in the hole. We'll get this bad boy on. Let's get all these guys started, and then I'll put this in place last because it's up top. So I want to get this on, see if we can put the water pump down, throw this bad boy on. And I don't have a belt. Maybe we'll have to get a belt at some point, but we're not starting right now anyway. We're okay. So let's struggle. We're gonna redo the floors in here at some point too. If you guys are wondering, you're like, oh man, you're getting the carpet all greasy. Well, it's not staying in here, so don't worry about it. You're okay. You guys don't need any extra anxiety. And I can't even get my alternator off the bracket. Oh, there she goes. Bada boom, bada bing. Come on, come on. Yay! Kids cheer. Alright. Oh, that's way lighter. Hell, now I don't even feel bad. Easy peasy at this point. That alternator weighs a couple pounds, man. She weighs a couple pounds, man. My alternator weighs some pounds, man. 1, 2, 3. Last boy at the bottom. Come here. Come get some, you son of a bitch. How about that? How about that? Oh. Woo. Head rush. You go over here. You guys go over here. We get the water pump, and then we'll try to put that in place. Ugh. Alright, we'll have to gas this down a little bit as I swing it around and drop all the bolts into the engine bay. And now we will commence the struggle once again. Okay, let's try it from this side. That side's not happening. Alright, this should be much better. Guess if I moved all my crap, I'd have more room, but what fun would that be? Water pump first next time. Mental note. Yeah, so if you do the water pump, the alternator bracket stuff's not in your way. I knew there was an order. I was just not sure because I usually put these on from the front of the vehicle where it doesn't matter as much. So I guess this would be the same in like a van too. If you had a van, you had to do stuff from the front to the top. So next time, water pump first. Hopefully I should be able to get to these. Yeah, this side at least. Sweet. Alternator, 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 alternator. Bing. Oh, that is right. That is right. You better call somebody. Son, over. We have accessories and a freaking radiator. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm telling people, so I'm excited. Check it out. Booyah! Look at that thing. Fits like a glove. How you doing? Oh, what if I had the cap for that? I'm gonna have to go see. I don't know if I have the cap for that. Because why would there be a rag stuffed in it if I had an actual cap? That's gonna be crappy. Anyways, let's not kill the excitement. So, that is awesome. Let's throw the throttle body back on since we're here. War Performance, shout out, my guys. So we'll put that back on here. And then we will take a quick break, get some water because it's kind of hot in here. And then figure out what else we can do. So I'm excited. Kind of looks like I have an actual motor in there. That's crazy, man. All right, we took a quick break. So whenever we got the intercooler, and it's not the biggest. I mean, you can see my hand. It's actually pretty small technically for what we're doing with it. But I'm hoping, because it's a pretty low boost application, that this is kind of one of those, something's better than nothing. That's kind of the philosophy with this. So we'll bolt this thing down, and then at least we'll have a bunch of cool looking stuff in there, and then I should have the couplers and all that fun stuff. So ta-da! So my buddy Reed actually welded that on, so big shout out and thank you to Reed. I gotta change that fitting. Anyways, there she is. I have all the T-bolt clamps. I'm not gonna put those on because if I do have to remove stuff, I just wanna yank it off, and then we can put all those on before we get rolling. But I wanna do this. I know I've seen it in here before, looking all saucy, but let's see it without the cover. As I punch holes in my radiator with my cardboard. Ooh wee! Look at that. Bam! That's pretty exciting. Let's go look at it from the other side. I'll peel the plastic off there one of these days, but yeah, there she is. So we are making some progress. All right, well that is gonna wrap it up for today's episode of the Twinniebago build. It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint, but I feel a lot better looking at components sitting in place that are living there. So I feel much better about that, although we still have all those lines, all those fittings, all that stuff has to migrate, make its way into here, but we are making leaps and bounds. I'm gonna go look at my double-sided list, hopefully check a bunch of stuff off, and then we'll decide what we're gonna bring you guys back for on the next time. Bore you to death here on BurnDown. You guys like, subscribe, share. You know what to do. Tell your friends. Tell everybody else. If you're in a state where you can have some fun, go do some smoky burnouts for me. Go to the freaking racetrack. God, I miss it. I'm out.
Touch them balls.